Hello everyone, my name is Akay Mason. I'm a writer director, Elevator Baby, Day of Destiny, and Superstar. I fell in love with film at a very, young age. I was basically raised by the television because my parents were both working. I'm the middle child of three, and yeah, I knew that I loved stories and series. Whether it's When You Are Mine or Paloma and Diego or Second Chance. You know, like I'm the kid in school that like in primary school or secondary school I would always like I knew the plot of the last episode, so in case you missed it, I'm the guy that would just tell you what happened to Paloma and Diego, and all of that, and as I grew older, I started getting exposed to other films. I grew up on Mount Zion films, on Yoruba films, on American films. And my first experience in the cinema was when I turned 15. My uncle was a professor in Calabar, came to Lagos and said to take us to the cinema. We wanted to go watch a movie by Dwayne Johnson, but instead, the viewing time, because of the viewing time, we could only watch EJ. And EJ was a film with Amotola and Genevieve. So we stepped into the cinema, and that was my first time in the cinema. I was like, oh, what is this? Seeing that so big Galleria. And then I watched the film, and I was like, wow, this is a Nigerian film on such a big screen. Like, wow, I was blown away by the sound, blown away by the picture, and then I said, I fell in love with the cinemas, and when I was leaving secondary school to university, my parents wanted me to study law, but I couldn't make the cutoff mark for law, so they were like, "Oh, do political science." Like we can always move into law later on. I wasn't interested in that. I wanted to study theater arts, but I didn't know how to tell them. But so I went ahead with political science, and then in my second year, I went to Computer Village. I found out about Final Draft, so I went to Computer Village. I bought the CD for Final Draft. I came back and I studied to my computer. Then I wrote a short script and I sent it to film schools. I got accepted into like 4 or 5. So I went home and I told my parents that I'd got admission to film schools, and I'm no more going back to Unilag. And they, as you expect, they lost their minds, and new semester resumed, and I didn't go. I was sitting at home. My father had already zeroed me from his mind, but I'm my mother's child, so she loves me, and she was like, okay, let's make this work. At least you've gotten admission. So they sent me to South Africa. I was there for like 3 years. I went to Real Edge Film Academy in Johannesburg. When I started going to film school, I met Ni on Facebook, and I saw his films trailer, Kajola, and I was like, oh my God, somebody's doing sci-fi in Nigeria. Oh my God, this guy is amazing, blah, blah, blah. I know that the film was, meh. We joke about it now, but I lied to him that, I've seen your film, I love the film, it's amazing. And he was also looking at me like, but then, I was talking to him while I was in school, and he was also like, when you're done with school, give me a call, let's see what we can do together. And then I came back to Nigeria and I was jobless for like 9 months. I called Mr. Neem. Mr. Neem was busy, then I decided one day that, what, I'm not calling anybody. I'm going to go after what I want. I went on Antil's website. I got the address on the website, and I just went. The address took me to his house, so they had not updated the address on the website, so instead of taking me to the studio, it took me to his house, and I got there and I knocked on the door, and this man came out in his boxers, and I was like, yes, who are you? And I'm like, it's me, AK. We met on Facebook, and I was like, I thought you would be bigger than this. And that time I was quite small and skinny, and it was like, oh, I was like, yeah, it's me. But then, invited me to his home. He got dressed. We went to the studio together. Interviewed me for like 3 hours. But the interview didn't feel like an interview, it felt like a conversation with a friend, and then from then on, he took me under his wing and became my mentor. And it was a long process, like 3 to 4 years of that before I got the opportunity to direct my first film. So it's a very silly, story. In secondary school, I got out of people butchering my name Akhigbe because it means not to be killed. It means a lot to me. I love the name. It's powerful. So if you're not going to get my name right, I'll give you a nickname to call me by. So I start calling myself AK, which is AK from Akhigbe, which is Akhigbe, and AY from Ayomikpo, and I put it together and it was spelling AK, and then the Mason came later when I was in film school. A friend of mine, Yevert Van Yeden, we went to a club after, school hours, wanted to relax, and he saw a group of white girls sitting in the corner. I wanted to go talk to because he was a white guy, and I was like, AK, can you come with me? And I was like, yeah, but what do I tell them my name is when they ask, if they say AK, what? I say Ilozobhie, like they would probably call me Elizabeth, So it was like, just come up with something. And I realized that, okay, I was a huge fan of the Renaissance men, the artists of the Renaissance era, the stonemasons that built the cathedrals and all of that, and I realized, oh, this is actually dope shit. So I called myself Mason. And when I spoke to the girls, I was like, hey, what's your name? I was like, Akay Mason. And she was like, oh, cool, mad. So when I came to Nigeria, I did that for my first film, Elevator Baby, Akay Mason, Day of Destiny, Akay Mason. Superstar, I decided to go with Akhigbe Ilozobhie because my parents got tired of explaining to their brothers and sisters in the UK or in the US that, oh, no. Akhigbe is still Akay Mason. It's just part of, be on shake, our kids want to play on a Burna Boy, I be Wizkid, I be Akay Mason is part of the, it was a struggle for them to, I was like, okay, let me just give them this one. Yeah, that's how Akay Mason came to be. I got a lot of people butchering my name, Akhigbe, and we wanted to talk to some girls and decided to use Mason, and then Akay Mason was born. My movies are inspired by my personal life, and the people I meet on an everyday basis. I take inspiration from everything. I'm the kind of guy that I have like 3 to 4 story ideas every day, and that's just basically being inspired by walking around, being around people, interesting people, and asking myself, what if? If I'm in a situation, I ask myself, what if? So like now I'm in this studio being interviewed, and what if an earthquake happens? What happens then? What if, this guy was not pressing record all through? What happens? So these are ideas, and you can always work with them. But I always try and approach things from a personal point of view because the most personal is the most, cinematic, and people tend to relate with your films once they come from a personal, angle, yeah. All my films all my films showcases like a little glimpse of my personality to the world, and yeah, everybody inspires my films. Everyday life inspires my films. So like I like to make Elevator Baby was that it was my first time, and like with every first time, you're excited, you're nervous, you don't want it to be short-lived. You want the experience to last forever, So I was a nervous wreck, but at the same time I was excited. I was like, finally, I get to call myself a film director. Whether this film succeeds or not, I'm a film director. 17-year-old me will be proud because I went to film school when I was 17. 17-year-old me will be proud. We did not drop out of Unilag for no reason. Our mother did not sell a coding for no reason. So this is it. This is it. Whether people like this film or not, I'm a film director and nobody can tell me anything. And that was the highlight for me, working with Timini, working with Toyin, having to build my set. I've always asked questions that why do we have such noise on set? Why does like all the locations look the same? why don't we build sets? And I've always been a huge, preacher for building sets. That was before I became a director. So when I had the opportunity to make Elevator Baby, I knew that I had to build the elevator. Because no company will allow you shoot in the elevator for like 3 days. They don't allow you shut it down for 3 days. They probably will not give you electricity. You'll be disturbed by people walking around. So we had to build the elevator, in our studio, so we could control our lights, control our environment and everything. And I could work with the actors and get them to the emotional point I needed to get them to. The highlight for Day of Destiny for me was I got an opportunity to make a film with my best friend at the time, Akhigbe. We co-wrote the film together, and we co-directed the film, and it was a great experience, working with my best friend, and that was the highlight for me. We got to tell a time travel story that was true to us. The story is about two broke brothers that look at their parents and they were like, what if our father was, why Papa no be Dangote? But what if we had an opportunity to become rich? And that was just us having a conversation because we were broke at the time. I done Elevator Baby, but there was no money. So, so we were chilling and we were talking and we're like, man, see if our papa and mama rich like this, we're not going to suffer the kind of suffer they suffer. Sakpa not going to choke us like this. We're going to do film, we're going to go to Toronto, we're going to go Cannes, we're going to go all these places, go watch film, we're going to form out here, put scarf for neck because of how papa and mama get money, But we realized that, that was not our reality. But something interesting came out of that. Habasi asked the most important question any storyteller could ask: what if? What if you had the chance to go back in time and change our parents' destiny and make them rich? And we're like, pull up, fire up the laptop, fire up the laptop, and we're like, clack, and we had like an outline in like 2 days, I showed it to Mr. Nee. And at that time, Mr. Nee was telling us about, Elevator Baby is going to go to India, it's going to be made by Indians, blah, 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 blah. And it was like, what's your next film? And we're like, check this out. And I was like, this is mad, though. And then we went ahead and we made the film. And just like Elevator Baby, I got the chance to build another thing. And that was the time machine, which was basically a gyroscope built on the fan motor, So we had to get that to spin, and it was a lot of research, and we had like different variations of the machines that failed until we got the one that was not spinning properly. And we knew that, then after building that in post, we'd have to rotoscope, the bulb out of it that was giving the reflection and place it to an orb. And that thing is spinning so fast. You have 24 frames per second. And we had like 11-minute scenes. So it was a lot of work. And that was the highlight for me, the work that I went into D.O.D. And Superstar the highlight for Superstar was that it was the first film I was making outside Anthill Studios. It was like my graduation from Anthill Studios. I had finally gotten to the level where I could be let go to make films for other companies, and it was like my emancipation, and it was a great experience. It was a story that was so dear to my heart, and it was a film about filmmakers, about people in the industry, and it was it's for me, it's still my favorite movie. I love every single one, but I love Superstar. It's my baby. More people get to watch it. That's the lead plus for me. International audience get to see the films. And just this morning alone, on my way here, I had like 3 different DMs from people that saw it on Amazon. I didn't exist in the cinema, and they were like, I love it, and blah, blah, blah. And the plus for it going to video on demand is that the proper resolution of the film gets to be seen. A lot of our cinemas dumb down the quality of your film. The audio is bad. The screens are not good enough. But that's the great thing about video on demand. People get to see a film in its proper resolution. What thing video on demand gave Elevator Baby was that the Indians got to see it, and it was the first Nigerian film to get remade by the Indians, and I got a little goodie of that, and that felt great. Anytime that brings money feels great. So yeah, it's like playing Russian roulette. You don't really know what's gonna pop, so you just keep shooting, you never really know what the audience will gravitate towards, so if you make a marketable film, and you have the right people cast in the movies, chances of you doing good numbers are quite high, if your film is not marketable, if it doesn't have a blend of comedy, drama, a bit of action, you know, a bit of romance, it becomes quite difficult to market the film. That's why people say, "Oh, comedy is what sells in Nigeria." That's not true, but comedy is quite easy to market because all I have to do in the trailer is put all the funny moments, bah, 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 in the trailer, and you are watching it, you're like, I'm going to watch this film. Or you put the romance, you put all the mushy, mushy parts, you're like, I'm going to watch this film. But you make your film so serious, and the explosions are not exploding, and people are just going to say, For all my movies, I've never been the sole decider on who gets casting what and this. I always have strong opinions and I always fight for what I want in film. Sometimes I win, sometimes I lose. But at the same time, you have to understand as a director, take yourself away because I'm the writer and director, so I'm moving more connected to the story and these characters because I've seen them in my head while writing, and all of that. But then you have to trust the people around you, your casting director, your executive producers, your producers, people that have skin in the game for such a long time, people that have experience and they know what faces sell. When you audition the actors, we can easily tell, okay, this is great for the character, and if we merge this actor with this actor, it can sell. This is great chemistry. This role was supposed to be for this established star, but we have this very bright young person that came to audition, and this person actually fits the role. So if you're going to give this role to this person, you have to compensate by having somebody established in another role so that it can balance out and people come to the cinema. Because the value of your film, the value like your film gets when you are trying to sell to these streaming platforms, has to do with the data of your box office. So they look at that numbers at box office and they go, okay, your film made 30 million, they give you a certain amount based off that. Your film made 100 million, they give you a certain amount of that. Once I'm directing, I'm so in the process, and I'm in the zone to the point where everything is a prop to me, The DOP is a prop to me. The actress, the actors, they're all props to me. And the reason why you're on my set as a crew or as a cast is that you're extremely useful. But my set is always fun. So I'm always joking around. I'm always smiling on set because I know that negative energy spreads quick and it's very contagious. And once you as a director start parrying or start panicking, people on set, you see the PA, you see the AD, you see the actor, don't talk to me like that. No, everybody's my G, everybody's my friend. We all laugh, we all joke. But if you mess up, I will call you out. Quick, we'll nip the problem in the bud and we'll move. Easy. That's like so easy. It's been an inspiration for a very long time, and a lot of times you see people's work, you don't get the opportunity to see them work behind the scenes. I've seen him work behind the scenes, and his work ethic is something that I envy, and I really wish that one day I can emulate. He does basically everything on set. He allows people to do their work, but he's knowledgeable about every single production. So his work ethic inspires my work. I try my best as possible to be my own person and have my own voice, but I'm heavily influenced by Akay Mason. So I've been nominated for Best Screenplay for Elevator Baby at the MVCA's, the 7th edition. Got Best Picture nomination, and we got Best Film West Africa as well, nominations. That was really good. We won for Best Actress and Best Actor. That was Timini and Tony Abraham. And I think we got the Bond nomination that year as well for Best Film. I was nominated for the Future Award, and that was a good one. Getting that nomination was great for me, and seeing my friend Kaide win the award, was a great thing as well. This year's AMVCA, Superstar was nominated for Best Cinematography and Best Actress. That was Barnabas Emodi and Nancy Sime. And it's a great thing for me as a director to see the visuals of my film and see the performance getting recognized. So I have a few projects in the works, but I can't talk about anything right now because of NDAs and stuff. But what I can say is expect more Akay Mason projects in the coming years. I'm not sure I'll be releasing anything this year. I'm not sure. I think this year is going to be a lot of work to release things next year and the years to come, but expect more from me, unique stories, unique angles, I try to make movies that, haven't really been made in our side, or from a perspective that haven't really been, seen, because I believe there are no new stories, only new perspectives, and yeah, expect more. And don't worry, it's entertainment, Abi. We got you. We got you. Hi, my name is Akhigbe Ilozobhie, also known as Akay Mason. I'm the writer-director of Elevator Baby, D of Destiny, and Superstar. And this is Nollywire.